Ms. Zan, for 5 minutes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Walalan, and greetings from the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq here in Nova Scotia. Millbrook First Nation is right nearby, and it's really good to hear all of you. Thank you so much for your presentations. This morning the Prime Minister announced another $650 million to support First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities, which I was very excited to hear. In particular, he was talking about healthcare, income support, and new shelters for women, which is another issue that I am actually very passionate about, especially as the vice chair of the Women's Caucus. He mentioned that 285 million of this new funding would go for public health, and it includes procurement, which Ms. Bull, you had mentioned. And so I'm thinking here in Truro, for instance, we have an old factory, the Stanfield factory. It's a family-owned factory. It's over 100 years old, and they've been making underwear for that long. Stanfield's underwear is pretty famous. Anyway, they had to close down because of the pandemic. And then they made an offer to government to say, listen, we could make hospital gowns. We can make like plastic hospital gowns, and they could work with a plastic factory here, which also is having trouble because of COVID. And now the two of them are working together and making these disposable hospital gowns for PPE. So what kinds of businesses do you suggest, Ms. Bull? What kinds of things are there available that we can take forward and that you can bring forward? And as Ms. Damoff mentioned, we'd be happy to bring forward to government. It would be great to get First Nations and Indigenous people helping with this very important project.
So I think we have quite a few businesses who have done the same, been able to pivot to start to make hand sanitizer as an example. We've also seen some great partnerships with Shared Valued Solutions, who's a business that works with quite a few communities, and they've worked with a number of distillers as well and other corporate partners to provide hand sanitizer to a number of Northern First Nations in Ontario. And I have been working with Marion Crow at First Nation Health Management Association to provide our lists to them as well, because I know that they would like to look at Indigenous suppliers to be able to support on reserve health centers. So we do see businesses in all areas of PPE, also including, originally the buy and sell call came out for IT support, and there's Indigenous businesses in every sector across Canada. So we could really be moving forward in all of those. I think there is a real opportunity through the Supply Council and through Supply for corporations to partner with smaller Indigenous businesses, because it's a bit difficult, for an Indigenous business or some of the smaller businesses to provide 10,000 masks a week. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a real opportunity for funding in order to create those partnerships with large businesses and including Indigenous businesses in their supply chain, or some type of partnership where we could really ramp up the capability of the smaller business.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think, it is the smaller businesses and the community run businesses that really are the backbone of all of our little communities. I live here in rural Nova Scotia, and they're very, very important. And it's unfortunate about the taxation issue in the beginning when funding was rolled out. But I believe that we were running by the seat of our pants in a way. We were trying to come up with new ideas on the fly to try and help everybody who was falling through the cracks. And every time we heard about someone else who didn't quite fit the mandate, we then rolled it out for them. I mean, it's been an emergency situation, as you well know. So I think we are really trying now to really take into consideration everybody across Canada, and not everybody is going to fit every single mandate, but we're trying our very best to help as many people as possible. So thank you so much for your work. If you do want to reach out to either Ms. Damoff or myself, we'd be happy to help you take forward ideas to the government and about procurement or anything else.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And, oh, is that
Just about at time. Yeah, 10 seconds.
okay? Well, I'll just leave it at that for now. And if any of the other gentlemen on would like to reach out to us, please find my email. It's very easy to find, and I'd be happy to take forward your suggestions. Thank you.